like Marianne Williamson talked about, I think I have a cat behind me. I do. I have a cat right next to me. It's not a black cat. It's Mighty Maeve, little wonder. She was the feral mammy who, oh, bless her. She's gorgeous. And when she appeared in the garden, she was terrorizing Rainbow. I didn't know she had all the kittens at the time, but she kept turning up, and I was like, oh my God, I can't have any more cats. And then there were 11 cats, and I had to deal with them. Hi, I'm Eve Menezes Cunningham, and you're listening to episode 72 of the Feel Better Everyday podcast. Every Tuesday, I share trauma informed and ADHD friendly self care ideas to help you take better care of yourself, and yourself with that uppercase S, for that highest, wisest, truest, wildest, most joyful, brilliant, and miraculous part of yourself. Ideally, to help you create a life you don't need to retreat from. So you can find out more at the feelbettereverydaypodcast.com. And for deeper dives into each week's theme, you can join the Soul to Soul Circle. And as well as bonus interviews and practices, there are live circles online and instant access to the whole Love Your Whole Self chakra journey. You might also find the book 365 Ways to Feel Better, Self-Care Ideas for Embodied Wellbeing helpful, and other resources available at selfcarecoaching.net. Today's episode, in honour of Black Cat Appreciation Day this week, I was hoping to have a little cameo from Rainbow, but we're going to be talking about sharks, those misunderstood monsters. I recently watched Shark Whisperer on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I recommend at least giving it a go. I would not have thought it was my kind of program documentary at all, and I absolutely adored it. Someone close to me really like kind of pushed recommending it, and I'm so glad I did. It follows Ocean Ramsey as she uses her long history with sharks from the time she was growing up in Hawaii and wasn't scared, and she swims with them, and she does an enormous amount of work trying to save them from the real monsters on the planet, the humans. Sorry, I don't mean to be down on humans. There are many, many amazing humans. But the point of Black Cat Appreciation Day is that a lot of people malign poor, beautiful black cats as unlucky, as bad somehow, as not photogenic enough. And they brought in this day to help rescues place more black cats. Rainbow Magnificat, obviously, every day is Rainbow Appreciation Day here. She changed my life. Sharks changed Ocean Ramsey's life. And the power of connecting with her own energy as she works with theirs, and also what she's had to do in life. And I'm so happy she found her partner who's equally in love with sharks. But for the purpose of this episode, we're not going to be diving with sharks. We're not going to be swimming with sharks. I've also been watching, what is it? Celebrity Shark Infested Waters, which again, it's aiming to bring awareness. I feel like I wish they'd shown more around what they were doing to support contestants with their anxiety and fears. It could be quite educational in that regard as well, but the sharks are amazing. We call sharks monsters. I don't, but a lot of people hate sharks. They won't swim in the ocean. They're scared because we've been taught to fear them. They've been othered. Unfortunately, we live in a time where many, many, many groups of people and individuals are othered for things they have no control over. And the more we own our whole shadows, the more we can bring about a more peaceful way of life for all who come into contact with us, by not projecting our fears and our monstrous parts onto others. So, starting by asking yourself, have you ever really, really, really not liked someone? And it might be like absolutely loads of people really like, or it might be, oh, I'm not supposed to dislike people. The more we can work with the parts of ourselves that don't like someone and own those parts we're projecting out onto them back in ourselves, we can create beautiful friendships. We can really transform things. But if we just let ourselves dismiss politicians, people, like entire groups of people, as completely monstrous, we're dehumanizing ourselves. We're all complex. We're all worthy of love and safety and shelter and all good things. And I want you to think about how you feel about addressing your shadow. So as we move into the feel part of the Feel, Love, Heal framework, do you consider black cats to be bad luck? Do you consider sharks to be monsters? Think of something you dislike, or someone you dislike or even hate, and just ask yourself how it feels to contemplate the possibility that what you hate within them or what you dislike or what you fear in them is within yourself. We're going to be doing a deeper dive into shadow work on Monday the 11th for Soul to Soul Circle members. You can join if you're not already a member at evemc.substack.com. It's just €8 a month and you can leave anytime, but you have that instant access. But because of the nature of shadow work, it's an RSVP circle, and I'm very much encouraging live attendance for Monday the 11th of August at 6:30 to 7 p.m. so that there's no recording. It's a sensitive issue and I want people to feel really safe. Think about how that feels for you. Think about how, like, are you scared of shadow work? Are you scared to look within yourself and think about what it might be that you, and it's not all like scary stuff. It's not all like unlucky stuff. It's not, sometimes like Marianne Williamson talked about, I think I have a cat behind me. I do. I have a cat right next to me. It's not a black cat. It's Mighty Maeve, little wonder. She was the feral mammy who, oh, bless her, she's gorgeous. And when she appeared in the garden, she was terrorizing Rainbow. I didn't know she had all the kittens at the time, but she kept turning up and I was like, oh my God, I can't have any more cats. And then there were 11 cats and I had to deal with them. But think about, for the love part of the Feel, Love, Heal. Sorry, she's acting like I'm a tree. So she's kind of cutting into my leg there. So professional. So thinking about the love part of the Feel, Love, Heal framework and how it might feel to even begin to imagine accepting the parts of yourself, the part of yourself that you struggle to accept, that you might be projecting onto others or that you know you have done in the past. If you've seen Moana, I've got a couple blog posts about it. If you go to selfcarecoaching.net and just search Moana, Moana 2. I don't know, I don't think I'm giving away spoilers to just share that she's a delightful animation character with an enormous heart. And there's a scene in it where there's this dangerous island and everyone fears and loathes this island. And she recognizes that the island was traumatized and needs love and healing. And she has such a big heart, she is able to help that island heal and turn into this bountiful, beauteous, fertile, gorgeous land. And I'm not suggesting anyone does this in any way, shape, or form to endanger themselves. Not talking about diving with sharks, swimming with sharks, anything like that. If you're in a situation, boundaries, 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 always essential. But being open to the humanity in the person, it's helping you also be open to your whole humanity. So just notice if it's possible, if you think about what you're potentially rejecting in yourself, can you be with this part of yourself? And I don't want to go into too much detail in this open podcast. As I said, I'll be going into more depth with shadow work in the circle on Monday evening. But if it feels good for you, I'm trusting you to know yourself best. And this can be quite deep work. This can be quite scary and powerful. It can also be really gentle and delightful. But if it feels good for you, think about a part of yourself that you have rejected, that you have considered monstrous or unlucky or whatever it is, unphotogenic, whatever it is, and just notice how it feels to send that part of you some love, some compassion, some acceptance. And it might be, yep, I can imagine doing that. I might even go back to a few weeks ago and dig out that metta meditation for the unloved parts or the parts that are harder to love, for Soul to Soul Circle members. But you don't need to do that. You can just send some love. It might be from a distance, or you might really connect with this part and embrace it. But notice what feels good for you and let yourself be. You don't have to change anything. Just see how it feels to love, see how it feels to accept. So to move on to the heal part of the Feel, Love, Heal framework, ask yourself, what kind of world do you want to live in? We're all connected. We're all equal. Like, we happen to be born in places where we're luckier than others, or to families or parents who, like, there are all sorts of different types of privilege. But can you imagine how much better things would be for everyone if all creatures, ourselves included, owned our shadows? So it might be that you love sharks or black cats or whatever creatures. It might be that you work with groups of people who are typically misrepresented, demonized, all sorts of like unkind ways of working. I want to leave you with a quote from one. I'm afraid I didn't catch his last name. His mother, Marley West, had told him. So he was Ocean Ramsey's photographer. He came across her because he was photographing in the ocean surfers and what have you, and then they kind of got together. But he talked about his mother always saying to try to leave the world a little better than you found it. So thinking for yourself, what can you do? It might be something that scares you, like sharks or anything else, black cats, whatever. What will you do to make things a little better for yourself, your family, your loved ones, your community, your organizations? What can you do? And what will you give yourself permission to do, even if perhaps, like sharks or black cats, it scares you a little? If you were to imagine that you could, I love the Gloria Steinem quote about act as if everything you do matters, because it might. Um, what kind of difference do you want to make? And how can you, that's another shadow part you might want to come back to. It's not all the scary stuff. It's not all the shameful stuff. It's not all the things that we think aren't nice. It's often the powerful parts. It's often the fear. I got distracted by the cat, didn't I? I was saying about the Marianne Williamson, the our deepest fear is not that where I've forgotten. I interviewed her ages ago, but it's gorgeous. But it is that powerful beyond measure, that fear of your own power. So that's an important part of shadow work. And just like the shark and the cat and all creatures have their vulnerabilities, have their powers, we are the same. We want to welcome the whole emotional landscape. We want to welcome our whole selves, love our whole selves, have more compassion for ourselves and others, and create a bit more ease in this wonderful world we get to live in. So next week, we're going to be doing some inner child work, and I hope you'll join us for that will be episode 73. And in the meantime, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't already and you would like to, feel free to rate, review, comment, subscribe, share with someone who might enjoy this episode. And thank you again for listening. This episode was produced by me, your host, Eve Menezes Cunningham. And she's back. Rainbow, of course, Black Cat Week is nowhere to be seen, but look, little Maeve, whoop, little gorgeous, gorgeous Maeve. She's, oh my God, they're so gorgeous. This morning, feeding Angel and Terry Crews cat. They're still the ferals outside, so they come inside occasionally, but Angel goes for all the other cats, unfortunately. He was a runt, and Maeve here kept him alive by feeding him as one of her own little kittens. When I went from 1 to 11 overnight, as I got to know them, it was like there were just so many cats. And it was like, why are there sometimes 5 kittens and sometimes 6? So it turns out Angel was from a different litter. But he has forgotten that his mummy, or his surrogate mummy who helped keep him alive, and he'll terrorize her as well. But with me, like this morning, like normally he lets me pick him up after like nearly 2 years in the sheds when I've put the food down. But this morning he let me pick him up right outside the house, and he just kind of goes all like purr and rubs noses with me. And you just think they rescue cats, all creatures, sharks. Just think about something you love that other people don't, and let that love expand for you. Let yourself know love is never wrong, and protect yourself, like have healthy boundaries, but enjoy the good, the healing, the connections, all of it, and have an amazing week.